Welcome to this video. My name is Alex and it's been a while since I last uploaded a YouTube video. And I would say that was mainly due to me making some important life choices, rethinking how I approach YouTube and work and financing myself and everything else. And now I decided to apply for psychology for this winter term in Austria. And of course that recalibrates, or that gives me the need to recalibrate and rethink everything and to reorganize what I do. And I would just say it was pretty inevitable because I was always thinking about studying psychology. Like it was always in the back of my mind, and now I just couldn't come around it. But that's not the topic of this video. And the topic of this video is how I got robbed and attacked or assaulted, if you will, in Berlin around, I think, 8 months ago. And I think it was the 1st of November when it happened. And in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about what happened, my emotions, my feelings during what happened, in the days after what happened, and how I feel about everything now currently, which is not too long since it happened, but it's still a long time because it's a whole lot of months. And then I want to talk about some key takeaways, some conclusions, some things that I extracted from what happened. And then that's hopefully a good overview and a good insight into how it feels and what it was like for me to get robbed and assaulted in Berlin. And let's get right to it. I was just walking in the city, and I was actually walking back to the city center where I wanted to take a train back home. And from where I was coming, it was a little running shoe store where I wanted to get some new shoes. And then because it was late in the year, it was already very dark outside. But I still decided, I don't want to take a bus or anything back to the city center. I just want to walk there because there's this huge park. It's called the Tiergarten or Tiergarten. And I also wanted to make a call with a friend, and I also eventually then did that while I was walking. So it was just perfect opportunity to get some steps in, to have some relatively fresh air and just some movement and just feel good and talk with a friend. And everything would have been fine. But then I was walking, and it was very dark where I was walking on the path because I wasn't too close to the street, relatively close, but there wasn't really any light coming through the leaves and trees. And then I was walking on a path. I was talking with my friend, and I had headphones in, so I didn't really hear anything around me, and I didn't really see anything around me, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to do in retrospect. But then there were some 5 or 6, maybe 7 guys standing on a path in front of me. And then especially one of them just completely just blocked my way and stood very close to me, in front of me. And they were all probably not even 20, maybe 20, maybe a little bit younger. So all younger than me, all looking and speaking like they were not really German. And then one of them said in a very cliche or stereotypical kind of way. Like, I translated, but he said it in German. What did you say? And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Okay. And then I put on my headphones. And then again, he was like, what did you say? And then pretty quickly I realized, okay, like these guys, they're just simply very aggressive, and they just want to start some shit. And then before I could just react or run away or do anything, the guy in front of me, he sprayed some pepper spray or something like that into my eyes, which actually wasn't that bad, maybe because I had my glasses on. But yeah, my eyes were still very irritated for like half an hour, like from when that happened. And then as soon as that happened, as soon as he sprayed the stuff in my eyes, I ran away, like just from the path, just into the woods basically, or into the green from the path away. And then one guy, he was like very close behind me, and I kind of tackled him or grabbed him, and I threw him onto the ground. And while I did that, I also stumbled and fell on the ground, which then allowed the other guys to reach me and to keep up. And then they very heroically started to hit me, to kick me. And like, I just intuitively just tried to protect my head and my face. And then I started to scream at them, like, what do you want from me? Just leave me alone, like in German. What the fuck do you want from me? And yeah, I was just very intense, as you could imagine. And especially there when I was laying on the ground and when they all reached me, in that moment was probably the most panicky situation where I had the most panic. And there I was like, oh shit, like this is really not going well. This is a really, really fucked up situation. And of course I wasn't thinking too much, but yeah, that really didn't feel so pleasant. And then when I was screaming at them, it felt like they were kind of stepping back a little, or as if they kind of took it down a notch. And then I was able to stand up and run away. And then when I ran away again, they were not following me again or running after me again. And yeah, when I ran away, or before I ran away, there was like a guy in the background saying something in some language I didn't understand. And maybe he just told his guys like to stop or whatever, which might have been because I lost my jacket while I was running away, and inside of my jacket was my pocket with my money or my credit card and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, maybe they found it, and then they let me go. Yeah. Then there were like two lovely people that I met, like when I reached the street, I just ran, and then I reached the street, and then I talked to these two people, and then it was like a guy and a woman, and she gave me her phone, and then I called the police, and then they came, and then I talked with the police, and blah, blah, blah. Just the bureaucratic process and everything. And yeah, when I reached the street, like the first feeling I had was, I think, also aggression, because like I didn't even want to wait for the police or anything. Like I just felt like just going back into the park and just hitting back basically, because I was so enraged by the stupidity of doing such a stupid thing, like just randomly in the park attacking a stranger for no reason at all in a group, which is pretty, yeah, I don't want to I don't want to get on the same level as them. So, yeah. Or not even that I don't want to get on the same level, but I will come to this in a second. But in days following the incident and everything, I also started to reflect, like, how do you come into a situation as the offenders, as the perpetrators? Like, why would you even do that? And then I thought a lot about that, but I will come to this in a second. And yeah, at first I was just very enraged and just thought it was so stupid, like, to do something like that. And I just wanted to get back at them, basically. And then in the days following the incident, I, like, in my head, like, the whole situation, like, it was coming up a lot, and I was just running through it, or like my mind was like kind of automatically just running through it again and again. And I also thought, like, yeah, what could I have done different? Should I have just fought back instead of running away? Which didn't really make sense, because I also didn't even know if they had like knives or anything, and they were still like, yeah, in a huge majority. Yeah, but then I just sat with all the feelings and with my mind racing, like, in the days after that, and I just really, allowed myself to look at the moment, like, in a non-judgmental kind of way, and just with understanding, or, I mean, yeah, just a natural point of view, or, yeah, like you do it in meditation, basically. And that leads me to my conclusions, or my takeaways from this incident. And yeah, watching my feelings, being with my feelings, definitely helped me, like, to overcome this whole situation. And yeah, like I said, when the rage inside of me started to calm down, I started to think about these guys and how damaged or hurt or wounded they need to be, like, to do such a violent, evil, ignorant kind of act. And I mean, of course, I don't know their situations, but I kind of started to feel like sorry for them, and also kind of compassionate in a way. Yeah. And something I also didn't mention already, but after all of this stuff happened, and then I was, like, in a police car and driving to the police station, like, to make a detailed report and everything. So just half an hour, not even an hour after everything happened, I was sitting in the police car. Like, I didn't have my glasses, I didn't have my phone, I didn't have my pocket, like, I lost all of the stuff. Eventually I was able to find my phone and my glasses again, so that was cool. But in that situation, like, I thought everything was lost. And my eyes were just irritated, I wasn't able to see anything. But in that moment, I was still able to just calm down, or to reach a state inside of me, or a place inside of me, that was at peace and peaceful and calm, collected, and just very even-minded, relaxed. I'm missing the exact word that describes the state, but maybe I can put it here. And that was a very special moment, I would say, or a moment from which I could draw a lot of strength. Because, like, even in the midst of all of the stuff happening, I was able just to come back to myself and to be present and to basically feel okay and to tell myself everything's okay. Which is definitely like traceable or the conclusion of my meditation practice, of my Zen practice, because in Zen practice, it's always about just directly going into this direct contact with reality and just to be purely present and to feel that everything that's going on is okay the way it is, even if it's bad for you or good for you or whatever. It's just the way it is. And in that moment, I was able to be okay with everything that was in that situation and everything that happened. And then that was very powerful. So that's something I wanted to say. And something else I wanted to say is that, even if you're a man, even if you're strong, even if you're tall or whatever, I guess you still need to be a little bit cautious, because I always felt like, okay, I'm not a woman, I don't need to fear anyone, I'm strong, like who the fuck wants to do something with me? But then again, if you're alone in the park and you don't see anything and you can't hear anything and you just walk into a group of very chaotic and maybe narrow-minded people, then I guess you still can't really do anything. So it's not to spread panic or fear, but I guess it's good not to be so cocky like I was and just to walk and go anywhere without thinking about anything or without thinking about that anything could happen to you. And now I'm kind of at the opposite end, but now it's pretty good. But there were like a few months where I was like, I guess, too afraid. And especially here in Berlin, there are a lot of kind of weird people. So a few times when I went into the city, I was like a little bit tense, not too tense, like I wasn't really too affected by it and I was still able to live my life. But there were a lot of moments where I was like a little bit too scared, and that's also not the way to be, and to always be on the lookout and to watch everyone and be like, But I guess a little bit of that doesn't hurt you, even if you're strong, even if you're a guy, even whatever, even if you're the best fighter in the world. If they have a knife or a gun or they're like 10 people, it's still, difficult to deal with that. And I, at first, like in the first few months and after everything happened, I didn't really saw a reason to make a video. And there was also like the court process and everything going on. And now I also made a testimony in a court. And one of the guys, I think the main guy, he also admitted, I think, to what he did. And he also did a lot of other things. There were also like 2 other guys who were like younger than me, and he punched one in the face in the train. And at the same evening when I was attacked, there was also another guy driving through the park on his bike, and they kicked him from his bike. And I hope he gets his justice in a way, but the main thing I really hope for him, and I think that's a good way to end this video, is that I just really hope or want for this guy, like, just to, I don't know, just to let it go and to take responsibility for what he did, for what he does, for how he feels, instead of just having this pure, brainless aggression guiding him and just doing stupid things. And at court, like, I kind of wanted to talk to him, but I didn't really have the opportunity. There was his mother, and I was able to hold like eye contact with her and kind of signal her like, I'm okay, everything's okay, like I don't have bad feelings towards you or anything. And I also don't have bad feelings towards this guy or these guys, because that doesn't serve me to hold on to any grudges towards them or whatever. Like, I just want them to feel good and happy about themselves and to live a good life and to be able to have peace and harmony like everyone deserves. So yeah, I just wanted to tell them, like, hey, like, we're here both on this earth, we're like in the same situation. It's like, I think that doesn't make sense. Like, you also have people who you love. Like, you were there with your mother in the court. Like, I'm sure you don't want her to be in a situation like that. And yeah, that's something I wanted to tell him. Now I'm telling it to the world, I guess. And yeah, it just felt good to summarize everything, to put everything in this video, which is also kind of like a journal, and just to process everything and to share it so someone else may be able to learn from this, or to, yeah, whatever, have some insight. And yeah, I guess that's everything I wanted to say. So thank you for watching this video. I'm currently also working on a few other projects, and I hope that I can share some of that stuff on YouTube, on Instagram and everything pretty soon. So I hope I see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And yeah, with all that being said, thank you for watching and see you soon.